All right, let's talk about the bow and arrow choke now. So from the feet, you know, a lot of the bow and arrow is basically hanging off your opponent. So we can start with, you know, getting this grip and then the second grip going here. Okay. Now on the feet, this doesn't make any sense unless I was actually up on Pete and he was holding me like a backpack. Okay, you can hang. But again, this is just starting on the feet, just so your hands and your arms can kind of get an idea of what they're supposed to do. Okay, so it's like over under, the underside grabs the lapel, opens it up, passes it off to this guy. Okay, over under, the arm that's under opens the lapel, passes it off to this guy. Okay, after the pass off, I get the lapel, open it up, pass it off, come down to the pants. All right, over under, the under grip opens the lapel, passes it off to the over grip. Now his job is done. Let's take our next job, grab the pants. Notice I'm leaning too, my head. Notice my whole body moves over. It's not just like, right? I like lean. You see it already starts putting pressure on him. Like if we start spinning this way, Pete has to spin with me. Pete, stay where you are. Stay where you are. Right? What if I go like this? Look, I get this grip, and instead of going this way, what if I go this way? Untangles the choke. You know what I'm saying? And look at that. You can even practice that. Be like, stand next to the guy, take the lapel, walk around him. Boom. Now it makes sense, right? Or if I'm here next to him, what is it? This, right? It's this grip, and then as I walk around him, it starts to catch on the neck. Boom. This might be a good way to introduce a new student to the idea. So what is it here, right? And we come around, and you start to see it entangles him. All right, then if Pete spins this way, he'll untangle. Keep going, keep going. Great. All right, untangle, spin, spin, spin. Good. Now spin the other way. Spin the other way. Makes it worse, right?
I can't move this way, and even hold my pants, I can't move the other way.
Right? So now let's try it on the ground. Lay on your back. I'm sorry, sit on your butt. Sit on your butt.
All right.
Okay? So it's like, okay, for that variation, I just kind of pushed my knee into Pete. I take this grip, I just kind of push my knee. Okay? So that's the idea. Now it's like, get your hooks into place. Okay? Over, under. The under grip opens the lapel, passes it off, and then comes out to the pants. Now I want to post on my elbow here. With my elbow posted on the ground, as my upper body is the point of control for my upper body, my lower body can now start to move. So I remove the hook, I scoot, and this is dropping Pete down into my lap here. And then I start to get into this position, and now it's pretty easy to finish that. Okay? So if I go over under, the under grip opens the lapel, passes it to the top grip. Okay, now he can do his second job. Grab the pants. Remember, I post on my elbow here. Okay, so I can take this hook off, put it on the ground, scoot, look at, readjustment, look at, and now leg over his shoulder, crank. The tap is easy there. Okay, there's lots of cool variations, like Pete, lay on your back, but on your side, facing the camera. Lay on your side, right? You'll be here on people, okay? You'll be here with people. It's the same thing, set the lapel up, throw the leg over, and then grab the pants. Here's a mistake people make, is they'll go boom, boom, and then try to throw the leg over, but their arm is in their own way. Okay, if you're gonna do that, you gotta get your foot under your arm. Okay, you don't wanna go get the grip for the neck, get the grip on the pants, swing over and be, your own arm is getting armbarred now. Okay, you need to go through here. Now I can start to fall back, pull Pete, pull, tap, or sit up. Now I can go over here. And now I pull him down, and I crank. Oftentimes, sit up a little bit. Oftentimes when I'm finishing, okay, I'm only holding it with these fingers. You'll go from like all 4 fingers to just this. right there, because that's all you need. That's all you're gonna need. Notice I'm scooting, letting Pete drop down into my lap. Try to sit up, Pete. Sit up again. Trying to tap him here does not work, okay? They need to get down into your lap right there. Almost to the same exact spot where an arm bar would be. Could I let go of this and take an arm bar? Yes. Sit up, Pete. Could I let go of this and get an arm bar? No. It's not in my lap. I need his arm bar to be in my lap. There it is. Now I can switch to an arm bar. That's how you know you're in the right spot. Okay? So, there's lots of ways to do this. Like go in a turtle position, Pete. If we're in a turtle position, okay, I'll do it like this. I'll be like, boom, set this up. And I'll go, right into it. Let me do that again. It's one of my favorite setups. Okay, is we'll be in a turtle position. Okay, and I'll be here and I'll set up this lapel. Okay, and then I stand up. I swing my right leg through that little hole and I start reaching back here, rolling, and look where we are. Now grab the pants last, lock the feet, crank, crank, crank. Let's do that again. I'll be in a turtle position, right? And I'll be like, lapel, step up, swing my foot through, and I roll, roll, roll. Right to here. Okay, now I can crank, crank, crank. And again, I let go of my pinky and my ring finger. It's just middle index and thumb. Can I armbar him? You're in the right spot. Okay, so, thank you, Pete. You can sit up. So that's your bow and arrow choke. Okay, there's several. Let me do one more. Stand up and have your back. I'm gonna jump on you, okay? Hold me up. You can be on somebody's back like this. Okay, get the lapel and start to hang, 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 hang. Boom. Okay. There's a lot of scenarios where you'll end up on your opponent's back. I see it a lot in competition where the guy's on the dude's back and the other guy's holding him up. And, you know, it's a great time for a bow and arrow choke right there. Get that lapel, start to lean. You'll have fun. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's have a look at the BRABO, Bravo choke. Okay? So, again, from the feet, we're just going to go over what's supposed to happen with the upper body. And then I'll take it to the ground and show you more specific finishes and setups for this choke. Okay? So the idea is, take the lapel out, undress your opponent, okay? I've always noticed it's easier if I can actually like get the backside to pull out of the belt too, okay? As much as you can, all right? Now, here's the thing. I want to get Pete's lapel to fold out like this. It's hard to see because of his black gi, but basically you want the lapel to fold out like so before you dip it under the armpit. If his gi folds under like that when you go under the armpit, it's not as much space to play with at the end. So I want to make sure I flip the lapel open, okay? I flip it open and pass it up under his armpit. Okay, this is your first step for your Bravo. Your BRABO choke, Bravo. It's a Brazilian thing. What does Bravo mean, Pete?
I think it's mean.
The mean choke. This is a mean choke.
Mean choke.
Okay, now it goes, pass it to this guy. All right, now here's the next step. Is I take my forearm and I press it against Pete's neck right there. You don't want to slip your hand in and grab it like that. Okay, what I do is I press my forearm on his neck. Turn with me, turn with me. Okay, right there. I press my forearm on his neck and then I take this and I lift it and I give it to that hand right there. All right, so the whole thing goes, stay right there. The whole thing goes, boom. The common mistake people make is they'll do this. They'll go here and they'll slip their hand through and catch it right there. And it's a very weak version. I think it's much better if you pass it here, I press my forearm here and hand it off there. Now I can snug and take it, and it's pretty tight here. You see it's pulling up under Pete's armpit and putting pressure on the cross side of his neck there. So it's a cross thing going on. That always hurts opponents when you attack both sides, left and right on them. So left is attacking his armpit, right is attacking his throat here. And I have a palm up grip. Okay, so it's very similar. This is like a super X choke. It's basically like doing this, except right there. And is his gi folded the right way? Yes, it is. I don't want his gi folded underneath like that. Okay, I want it folded out like this. Pass it over, switch it here. Well, now you have your grip, okay? One of the first chokes you'll want to do is come over the top. Turn with me, And I grab this little weak part of the lapel. So if you look, this is like the solid part of the lapel, and this portion here is like weak and flimsy. This part's thick and doesn't bend as much. This part's weak and gets curled up and it's easier to grab. Okay, so that's gonna be the portion I grab when I finish this choke. So, boom, 1, 2, bring myself over here. 3 is to grab the flimsy part, get a good grip on it, cross, 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 drop, and we get the tap. All right. Flimsy part, pull it, pull it, pull it, pull it, pull it. They're gonna start tapping. Okay, here's another variation. Same setup, same setup. Boom, boom. He puts the arm up. You take this bad boy, you drag it across, you pull him down, okay, and you have him here. Now this, along with an X, will tap him, or just squeezing like that will tap him. I love this because I'm a Darce choke guy. To me, this is another variation of the Darce choke. Okay, the Darce choke is right there. If the lapels don't feel right, forget it, go to a Darce choke. Okay, so there's 3 variations on the choke there, you guys. There's option 1, boom. Option 2, put your arm up on me. And option 3 is use it for a Darce. Okay, now let's look at it on the ground. Okay, actually sit on your butt, let me have your back. I actually like to do this when I'm on somebody's back. So when I'm on somebody's back, what I do is I take their lapel, all right, and I do it here. Now what I do is I allow Pete to turn and face me. Keep in mind, when you have somebody's back, they're always trying to turn and face you. Like if I just sat here, okay, and Pete turns, he's gonna end up in my closed guard. And they wanna do that. It's our back control that stops them from doing that. Like try to turn. Good. He drags me. I'm going with him. That's why I have the back control. I don't just have the back control, go ahead and turn, and just let him start turning. Doesn't work that way. They're trying to do that, okay? I know he wants to do that. That's why I take this lapel here, and I go right here. Turn, turn. So I go here. Okay? Now, I allow Pete to start turning in, and I make sure I go up on here, keep turning, and now he's right into my Bravo. Keep turning, go into my close guard. Great. Now it's the same thing. Can I go flimsy? Does he put the arm on me? Tap. Okay. So this can be done from closed guard. Look, I can be in closed guard. Posture up a little bit, right? As I can break his posture and make this happen. And then I go, boom, right? And then I'm pushing him away, so he wants to push back. They push back. Flimsy, lift your chin. Put your arm on me. Scoop right about here. Tap him out. Okay? So, Bravo choke. Okay, lay on your back. It can be done from like half guard. I always do it in half guard. And curl on your side. Good. Yes, I'll be here, and I'll go. You can just keep your frames. Yeah, keep your frames. So I'll be here, and I go, boom. Now here's the thing. Over his frame, like that. Okay? I don't want to pass the lapel under his frame. Okay? I try to go over the frame, and my shoulder goes onto his chest there. Now I pass this lapel. I dip my head to the other side of his arm and pull his arm over. Sorry, Pete. It's okay. And now we're right here. Boom. I stuff this down. I can squeeze. I'm still in his half guard, right? I can pass, lock the half guard on me. I can go up, 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 slice through and just pass right there. Hug the head. Tap him out. It's one of my favorite ways to deal with half guard in the gi. Okay, so if I'm here, I get a cross face and I pass that lapel. Right? And then I go over his arm. It looks like I'm giving him my back, doesn't it? right? Try to take my back. Like he can't though because of this lapel. Okay, make a little scoot to my back. Just try it. It's really hard for them because that's when I go switch. Okay, you're off balance here. Your white belts are gonna feel weird about this. But after you start to take out the space, reposition yourself to the center of his torso there, like an X choke. He doesn't like X choke. I pull this guy past, use my chin to tuck it down, my shoulder, my chest, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Boom. Okay, so stand up, Pete. So this is the Bravo choke, the B-R-A-V-O choke. Okay, if you want to start getting good at it, okay, practice it from the feet, right? Start getting used to setting it up, right? You can do it from behind the guy. Start from the behind guy. Start like this, watch. You go here, this lapel here, and now. Boom. Right? You can be here, take this lapel to this hand, and now. Put your arm on me. Okay, so thank you. That's your Bravo choke. Enjoy. All right, the head and arm choke, one of my favorite chokes here. This you don't really need the gi for. So basically on the feet, you'll want to learn, you're right, stand this way. You'll want to learn this catch right here. So maybe, you know, if you're new to this, just practice it here on your feet until you can take it to the ground and start doing, you know, what your legs are supposed to do involved with this choke. But first, before you do that, you have to understand what your arms are doing, right? So basically, learn how to make this happen on both sides. You might want to just practice this, you know, a couple minutes, just getting in here. Whatever methods you use to get in there, even if you just literally push his arm across to get in there, take out all the space, take out all the little air pockets. Okay, make sure your arm goes as far as you can. Okay, palm to palm, close it down, and crank until they tap. Okay, get yourself here. Okay, take out all the air pockets, take out all the space. My right hand here behind his neck gets grabbed. Okay, and I want to close my elbows in and squeeze everything in. Squeeze, 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 and then they tap. Okay, now Pete, lay on your back. So there's so many cool ways to do it on the ground. I think a really easy way to introduce people is to do it here from side mount and push this arm across. I was showing this in another DVD where if I push the arm and he drives it down, it now becomes an underhook. Okay, but if I push the arm and they don't drive against it and they just let you do it, drop your head down, lace, 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 lace deep, and now slide. You can jump over his legs, but you don't want to go into his half guard because I got to get to this side mount, guys. So what I want to do is slide my left knee up across Pete here, all the way, boom. Now I can get lower, get lower, get lower, get lower, and squeeze, and they tap. Give me a real tap, dog. Let me feel good about it. That's right. Okay, that's one way to do it. Okay, is be here in side mount and take this one and go across here for it. That's one way to do it. Okay, another way is to catch your opponent trying to turn and run from you. When they turn and run from you, you catch them right here and you pull them back and you pull them down and then you get down and you squeeze it right here. Okay, so if my opponent, if I have side mount, it's either like this arm and jump across, or if he turns from me, right, I catch him, get into that head and arm, and I gotta pull him back. Now I can lift his head, seal it even more, take out more space, take out more air pockets, get down flat. I see a lot of people like break their hips here. I'm not a big fan of this, although I've seen it work. But for me personally, and I have a lot of good experience, so I know what I'm talking about, so you should listen to me, is get nice and low here, flat. Hips flat. Okay? This seems to me to work the best. And right now I'm using an S grip. You can go palm to palm. You can like lock it like a rear naked choke. Okay? So that's a pretty simple setup. Now, Pete, sit on your knees. All fours, turtle position, please. Let's say we're here in a turtle position. Okay? This is one of my favorite ways to set it up. Is what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this left arm and I'm going to put it through here. And you'll see it start to appear there. And what I'm going to do is roll. I'm going to take my left leg lay it down next to Pete like this. Here, okay? Now, it's hard to see, but Pete cannot retract, like pull this elbow out.
No way.
Do it just so they can see. And then post it over there. And post your hand over there. Great. That would ruin this for me. Because his hand is stuck, try to pull it out. His hand is stuck. I can start ripping across his neck. Ripping, and look. Pete's way heavier than me. And I got him to roll across. Okay, this doesn't matter how big they are. You will get giant dudes to roll across you if you do it like this. Okay, come back up here, Pete. Get on all fours. Okay, so the same idea can be done left or right. If I want to attack this side, I'll roll across him here. He's trapped. Lock it. Rip, 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 rip. Pull, 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 pull. Big guy goes across you. Pretty easy to finish now. Get low. Get low. Take out all the space. Crank, 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 crank. Tap out. Okay. Again, Pete. On all fours. On all fours. So you could be here. Front headlock maybe. Right? Front headlock, and I'll be like, boom. All right. I could be here in the front headlock, right? And I'll go. Now I'm going to take Pete towards the camera and flip him over me. Let me do the other side, right? Where I'll go. Flip him over me. Okay. Believe it or not, this can be done from close guard. I've seen Dean Lister tap dudes out in close guard. Lay down. I've seen Dean tap dudes like this where he'll be like, and then shake, 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 and pass through. Okay, let me show you that again. It's hard, it's doable though. From the close guard, you gotta stick your head down and drive and catch his arm. And now you can get into here, lock it up, and now I shake, 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 knee slice, and get low and low and low, and then start cranking. I wouldn't crank until the very end though, until you got into that final position and then crank. I think a mistake people make is they're cranking the whole time that they're trying to position themselves. And you wear yourself out basically. You burn your grip out. You can set up Pete. So, the head and arm choke comes in many forms and variations. I hope you can learn it and enjoy. All right, this next lesson is about taking lapels, wrapping them around your partner's neck, and finding ways to choke them, okay? When I first learned this concept, I remember seeing, 5, 6, 7, 8 different variations and being like, man, how am I gonna remember all that? How do I take that concept and make it understandable for a dumb little 17-year-old stoner kid? So Pete, lay on your back. So here's the way I've learned it, okay? Here's the way I learned how to do these 4. I see them as 4 chokes, okay? I learned there's 4 chokes basically, and just get your hands out of the way for the chokes. So it's my 2 lapels and his 2 lapels, okay? With all of them sit up. Actually sit up, do a sit up? Like a sit up? Yeah, okay, go back down. Okay, so arms in. So basically, if I use my right gi and throw it over, I can get it here, okay? And start creating a choke, okay? The same thing can be done with my left lapel. I can get head control here, cross-face head control, take this lapel, throw it over here, and start applying the pressure onto him, okay? You have to learn how to lean. I tend to lean up and left as I extend my forearm, okay? You can also take your available hand and press the shit against there and tap them like that, okay? So whether it's my right lapel or my left lapel, it doesn't matter, okay? What you need to do is get the head control, okay? For this right lapel, what I would do is throw it over his face first, maybe even throw it like this, take the lapel and throw it here, hold that for a second, and then gather up his head and pass it over, okay? And now it's like, crank, 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 boom. You notice that it's like, pull it, retract it back, retract it back. And then you'll even see bring your head over here. And then that really starts to choke them. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing with this cross lapel. If I go here and I go boom, and then I start bringing myself over here, whoo, that choke catches up quick. Okay, now the same thing can be done with both of Pete's lapels. I can take Pete's gi here, okay, crossface head control, and pass it over here. Okay, and now you can start extending and choking him. You can stick this arm through here and create an Ezekiel variation. Okay, or you can start to stick your head down here and crank. You'll even see people front roll to get the choke to work. I didn't want to crank on your neck.
No, I know, brutal.
It's brutal. Okay, so hug the head, take his lapel, pass it, take it, grip it, start extending and cranking. Boom. Okay, now what about this lapel? This lapel is a little different because when I pass it, it doesn't go across his neck, right? Nothing's gone across his neck like the other three. Okay, so generally I'm using this one. I use this lapel usually to try to catch his forearm. So I always try to catch his forearm and have it pass there, and now his forearm is eliminated, his arm's eliminated. And then it turns into what we went over earlier, a variation of the baseball bat choke. So now I'm holding this guy like it's a baseball bat, okay? Except I'm behind his head and his arm is trapped there. So I trap that arm there. I take this lapel, he's maybe got this going on, and I go over and trap and take out, eliminate all the space, take out all the air pockets. Now I stick my palm up, put my hand into there, drop this one to Pete's neck, and get the tap. Okay? So, with all three, my both lapels and Pete's left lapel, they all go across the throat. They all create a cross across the throat. This one doesn't though. Okay? I can pass this here and it doesn't go across his throat. You do have the option of an Ezekiel here. Putting that on like an Ezekiel. Alright, you're right.
I'm great.
Is it hurting you?
How you doing?
Why are you resisting?
You're freaking stuffing your
Well, it's a
fist in my
DVD.
throat.
I'm supposed to do this, motherfucker. What'd you think I was gonna do? Be nice to you? Excuse me. So I want to take this bad boy and pass it here, put this in here, and create an Ezekiel. Just tap and I'll let go, dog. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. Or if his forearm is in the way, I go over the forearm and trap the forearm and turn it into a baseball bat choke here. And then I crank, and I get my tap there. Okay? So when I'm in side mount, I'm always looking at those four options. I'm like, okay, which one of the lapels do I want to play with if I want to be the choker and get him? Okay? Am I going to use this guy? Great. Am I going to use my other lapel? I'll take it out, pass it over, hug the head again. Boom. Great. Am I going to use Pete's lapel? Am I going to get his own gi and pass it against him? Great. Am I going to use this far one here to create a little loop so I can stick my Ezekiel in and tap him? Is his forearm in the way? That's okay. Put your forearm in the way. Cover the forearm. Take it away from him. It becomes a baseball bat choke. So, those are the lapel chokes that I like to do. Alright, let's look at a basic idea of how to use the guillotine choke. Okay, when I'm doing the guillotine choke, I want to get my arm up under Pete's neck or control the chin. Okay, my secondary hand wants to come in and take control of the first hand. Okay, I want to pull it up. Okay, and push my hips into it. Alright, so basically if I can get Pete to bend over here, okay, I'm going to go boom. Now, I can grab the chin, or I cannot grab the chin. All right, either way, my secondary hand has to come in and grab the primary hand. Whether I'm holding the chin, or I'm not holding the chin. Okay, I would hold the chin though if I was you. Grab onto that chin, grab that secondary hand, get your hips into it, and start cranking on the neck. I want to pull back. Okay, if you look at my right elbow here, my right elbow pulls back like that. Okay, so I go back and I go up. So back and up right there. Okay, that's one way to do it. Another way to mess with this guillotine is to take the elbow high. Okay? This elbow down here, the secondary hand, lift that elbow until my forearm clears up over Pete's neck there. And then that right there is going to create a lot of pressure on that Adam's apple. Okay? The other variation is grab his arm and pull it outside your hip there. Okay, so do you see what I did there? By coming in here, under his armpit, and again, I grab my primary hand, my secondary hand grabs the primary hand. Now my left forearm against the inside of Pete's bicep right there is going to pull and wrap his arm around my waist there. Okay, now this is the arm in guillotine. Okay, and with the arm in, I want to get close to Pete's chin. Boom, like, I don't know if you can see with the camera right now, my hand is not touching Pete's chin. Let's put it on Pete's chin. Okay, and then hips in, squeeze and they tap. Okay, I can even pull my elbow back, hips in, squeeze and they tap. All right. So the guillotine choke, all right? The guillotine choke. We end up with somebody like body locking us here, okay? We wrap around, we grab the chin. Right now, Pete's arm is already around my waist, so I can arm in guillotine him. If his arm was down here, I would grab it, pull it up, and now I have arm in guillotine. Okay? The other idea is, can you get elbow high? Can I grab here without involving his arm? Do I grab my own grip that's holding his chin, grab that primary grip with the secondary, and I bring this dude up. Okay? I bring my elbow up nice and high. And this starts to put a lot of pressure on the Adam's apple there. Okay? So basically it's like, practice this. Push your hand into your stomach. The secondary hand comes over, and then the elbow raises. Okay, so if I get Pete here, right, I grab the chin. The secondary hand comes in and raises. Okay, now you can't see it, but Pete can feel it. A lot of pressure on the throat here. Okay, if you look without him, my arms look like the letter L, don't they? Right? Okay, that's how I know I'm doing well. We don't want this. This is okay, don't get me wrong. This will choke somebody, but that letter L is the elbow high. Okay, that's really gonna get a lot of torque on that Adam's apple. You see that? Boom. All right. How many times do you think you can do this to somebody before they don't want to train with you anymore? It's very painful. The guillotine is one of the most painful techniques in jiu-jitsu. This is the elbow high. This is the arm in. Okay? Between these two, I get a lot of guillotine chokes. So let's look at a basic guillotine. Pete, lay on your back. We're going to do it from the mount. Okay, so I'll have mount. And it's a scenario where my partner wraps his arms around me. Great. And then closes their head close to me. Right? This is what people do when they don't want to get punched. If I have him mounted, right? Sit up, lay down. And I start punching, they go here. Okay? So go ahead and hold me. So what I want to do to connect your head is I hand walk until this happens. Okay? I hand walk until his head ends up on my arm. I'll put my head down. Now I reach back, lace the chin. Okay? Now hips up so I can come in and get my secondary grip and starts cranking right there. Okay? A lot of people don't think about the guillotine from the mount. Okay, I love this technique though. Okay, if they hug onto me especially and they connect their head to me, right, as I go, drop my shoulder down, head hits the ground, turn my palm up, lace the chin. Okay, now I gotta go hips up so I can get a second grip in, hips down, and finish it. Okay, the Pete can do this from closed guard. If I'm in his closed guard, right, he can sit up. Go ahead and do a guillotine. He can sit up right here, hook that, grab my chin, look at the hips popped out. He goes back, the arm is out. Do that again. He sits up. Notice Pete, notice my arm is outside on his hip there. Look at that. Look at the angle he's got. Give a squeeze. Okay, so Pete was holding my chin. He had the, oh, you can stand up. He had the arm out and exposed. Okay. So, you know, another way to get really good at the guillotine is just have a partner like slowly do like a slow football tackle on me. He's like, oh, I'm going to football tackle you. And then you grab and you go here. Now keep in mind, Pete just did a double leg like you're supposed to do a double leg with your head up like this. Okay? The average dummy who doesn't know anything about grappling or jiu-jitsu is going to do that. Okay, and that's asking for the guillotine. Okay, so if you're talking about self-defense, street fight type scenarios, the guillotine's probably going to be top 2 or 3 tools that you'll use in those kind of encounters because it's pretty common. You smack a dude a couple times, boom, the head goes down and they shoot. And it's pretty common. And then it becomes an easy guillotine right there. Grab the chin, secondary hand, raise it up, elbow high. Or am I going arm in, get his arm up around my waist, and now I can get in there and choke right there. Okay? Now the guillotine gets a lot more complex than that. There's a lot more setups to it. I hope you enjoyed this basic guillotine lesson.